boom, boom, boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. You gotta come on. Good afternoon, YouTubers. Look where we're at. Dirk's Trains has arrived, and we are at Franklin, Indiana, and there's our building. Check-in starts at 2 o'clock, and we're about an hour early or so. We managed to get past all the 90-mile-an-hour drivers and the construction. Wow. I haven't been here for 2 years. This is ridiculous. I couldn't even get the camera out to show what kind of construction they've been doing. I mean, it's radical. There's ramps and new roads, and they're still working on roads. So they've been working on this for, like, I guess 2 years? I don't know. But we're here, we're gonna get checked in, we're gonna start moving in, and we're gonna have, I think, one of the biggest shows that I have ever been to. So wait till you see this.
How are you?
Okay, how are you doing?
Hot.
Yeah, I know. Thank you for coming.
Oh, no problem. I got 3 tips.
You and me both. Okay, we are walking toward the brand new building that we got. 25,000 square feet, something of that nature, maybe more. I did read something that said 62,000 square feet. That could very well be on this building. It is a walk. Yeah, I can see our new St. Louis people, because that right down there, that's Mike Roth. So I think they put the new St. Louis people over here in the new building. It is a walk. We're not going to have transportation as a shuttle service. We just didn't get it. So maybe next year we can arrange something. I could probably call a school and they could rent their buses out. But we're going to go ahead and go in and see what's here. Livestock Pavilion. Now I've heard that this is where they do the rodeos. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It smells like a livestock building. All right, well, let's see what's in here. That's pretty big. That looks like a complete nightmare, don't you think? Hard to tell where the front and the rear is here. Oh, look who's here. All right, he's in the new building. I think I found all the wind. These are called train toys. We got a really nice little vendor here. What's your name?
Nina, we're from Kirksville, Missouri.
Oh, you're kidding! Kirksville, Missouri. We know where that's at.
Choo-choo.
This is great. That's the new building. That's not exactly what I thought it was, but that's okay because, yeah, it's big. It's not air conditioned, which is kind of sad, but it is a livestock building. I heard there was rodeo in there. There's not room for a rodeo. Maybe if you were doing barrel racing or something like that. But that's that building. So we're on our way back over, and I'll tell you what, it's only about, I'd say about 100 yards from one to the other, maybe not even that. So I don't think they're going to have a problem whatsoever. There's some good stuff in there. There's a couple layouts, and the place is big. We're going to have to see if all the St. Louis, the new St. Louis people were put in there. I know Mike Roth was put in there. You saw him. We're looking, and we'll see if Target Trains is in there. Otherwise, I said mention my name and get in the air-conditioned building, so we'll find out. So, well, let's get back to where we were. Okay, folks, that's going to wrap Friday setup at Franklin, Indiana at the Franklin Fairgrounds. and Franklin County Fairgrounds. We're in Scott Hall, of course. It's air conditioned in there. Yeah, no, the lighting's horrible. How about this? Is this better? I don't know. But yeah, we're in Scott Hall. It's air conditioned. There's a lot of buildings around here that aren't. Of course, we've been doing this since year one. So this is going to wrap for today. This is Friday, and we'll see you early in the morning when everyone starts to get here. That's going to do it for Let's Learn Things on Friday night. Good morning, YouTubers. For this segment of Let's Learn Things, it's day 2, but it's day 1 of the actual train show. It is Saturday, and we are here. And we are anxiously awaiting. I gotta close my door here. I got the air conditioner running. It's not bad out here. It was really bad yesterday, but a cold front went through and a thunderstorm went through, and now it's not bad out here. So we are here for day 1. It's like I said, Saturday. I have a lot of people ask me, Dirk, why do you get there so early? Well, I'll tell you what. Way back when, I used to travel with a guy called Harv Gordon. He was a traveling salesman at one time, owned an airplane and everything. And his idea was the early bird gets the worm. Okay? So if you're here early, you get the early buys. Oh, that's not important? Well, we used to go to a place called Carterville down in southern Illinois. And I decided that it wasn't important to get there early. And we got there 1 hour later than we usually would. And I missed out on the biggest layout buy that you have ever seen. And I kicked myself in the ass all day long because I lost stuff I could have sold for millions of dollars. So that's why I get here so early. That's why you get here early for a train show. The other is that we've got some people from St. Louis. You saw a few of them so far. We're going to see who shows up today. Personally, I don't know why you'd miss out on a Friday night setup. Have to come here and get into a clusterfuck on a Saturday morning. I feel sorry for her. She's going to have like hundreds of people in front of her. Where's my table? What building am I in? Where is it? And because you're too stupid to get here on Friday night and get an early setup. You're traveling, son. You're traveling. We got people. I heard somebody say something like Kentucky. I heard something like Pennsylvania. I mean, it's crazy how many people here. But they get here Saturday morning and they want to move in on Saturday. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'm in there set up. I'm ready to go. So we're going to sit here and wait for somebody to open that door, and we'll see you then. Good morning, YouTubers. Well, it's day 2 of the train show. It's Sunday morning, about 6:30. Supposed to get in about 7 o'clock. Right there at Scott Hall is where we're looking to get into. For me, it's day 3 because I was here on Friday. So, interesting developments that were not necessarily caught on film. The acquisition of the brand new hall turned out to be a livestock building. It was not air conditioned, wide open. The heat and humidity up here, it's going to be 90 today, heat index of 100 degrees. The humidity level up here is somewhere in the neighborhood of 90%. It's just despicable. During the day when the sun is out, and we're going to have sun, I don't see any clouds anywhere around here. You're going to be talking the humidity. You walk outside, you don't even get to a building and you're soaking wet. But that's the way it is right now with this tropical storm and everything else that's happening right now. So we're looking for a second day of sales. Yesterday's sales were just not where they need to be. And of course, every Sunday, every second day of this show, I run half price. So I've got to make a half price sign, and hopefully that will generate some sales. But yeah, they just weren't there. So we'll walk around today. We'll see if there's any new people, because he does sell where people are here on Saturday, they leave, and on Sunday, new people walk in. So hopefully there'll be somebody like that here. I walked around and tried to buy. I hardly bought anything. Crackhead prices that you would not believe up here. And now Mike says that he had a lot of vendors telling him they made a lot of money and whatever. Well, then people don't know, they don't understand the value of money if they're spending that kind of money. This is ridiculous. So let's get into day 2 and let's just see what's going to happen today. Okay, for this segment of Let's Learn Things, here's the man of the hour, the hours, the days, the months, the years. This is the guy that has planned this show, does this show. It's just phenomenal what this man can do, and with the help of your wife. What's her name?
Priscilla Rodri.
She's a beautiful person, and she gets in here, and she was helping as much as he was. So, okay, Mike, here we go. Give me a report.
Well, we had over 105 vendors that came to the show. Close to almost 400 vendor tables. We had 18 layouts that were going to be here, one static display. We had an awesome show. It was great. Total numbers of attendees with vendors and support staff was over 1,300 people. So we've grown for our 5th year. It has grown year over year over year, which is great. And we're going to continue this growth over year. So I appreciate everything everybody's been doing. Our vendors are the bread and butter. They're my customers. I treat them like customers. I have to. We had some hiccups this year that I wasn't anticipating because we expanded again. We had 53,000 square feet of space to work with. There were some new things that we were going to have in place. Some of it didn't come together the way I wanted it. But I'm a military background, so I understand logistics and planning and everything, and that didn't come completely together the way I wanted it to. So,
Well, I saw you on Saturday. I mean, it was, well, in fact, Friday when you were setting everything up, and then watching you on Saturday. So, I mean, you did a tremendous job with what you were doing and what you had. I mean, it was this building is a lot bigger. It was not air conditioned. It's actually a livestock building. Your city slickers can't understand those buildings. I'm from the country, so I understand that stuff. All right, didn't bother, it didn't bother me. There were some vendors that, well, I can't handle this, and we're going to leave, and all that. But that's why we say in the beginning, if you want to come to this show, we've only got 2 buildings that are air conditioned. All right. So, and I'm sure that somebody, they come in and they say, well, I want my same spot, and all that. So you got to work around that too. But if you're wanting to come here and get an air-conditioned building, you got to do this early. You can't call 3-4 weeks before the show, hey, I want to get in. No, you can't do that. Okay. I want to mention Saturday morning when the public was showing up, and I was running the door back here in the hall because people didn't know where to go. Our signs weren't where they should have been. But, I mean, that was no problem. I shotted them over to where they needed to be. But at one point, I looked out there. I mean, you can tell the guys here, too, but, I mean, there were 150 people standing in a line before getting their attendance. What was that even like?
it was awesome. We had the first a half hour and 45 minutes after the show opened, we had over 400 people through the door. Because we have the many buildings as we had available, it didn't seem crowded, but it was crowded. Because we opened the aisle spaces up, and yes, we had more vendors, and everybody was able to people move through the aisles and stuff. The vendors were enjoying, the sales were running through the doors from what I was told. I had vendors out in the pavilion that I finally was able to talk to today. They were doing phenomenal sales. One guy said, yesterday I did $11,000 in one day. He says, it's well worth it. And this was a guy from Alabama.
Alabama. And speaking of, okay, so our vendors came from how far away?
Tennessee, Alabama. We had vendors from Missouri. We had vendors from Texas. We have vendors from New York and Virginia. But those guys have been coming year over year. Those are manufacturers that come year over year. They help promote the show, and they help me grow this show because they talk about the show a lot. So it helps get the word out. And as we work forward in doing what the plan is of getting this show under one roof, and we are actively pursuing this. That has been the goal. It was a long-term goal to do this, and it was a 5 and 10 year plan. Well, unfortunately, we're going to accelerate this plan a lot faster because now we know that we can get these vendors, get the tables that we want, and the numbers speak for themselves. We will be able to do this a lot faster and a lot quicker.
I know that I've been told, I mean, there was one building, Greenwood or something like that. It was, and you also mentioned warehouses and stuff. what do you think the long term is? I mean, how long do you really think it will take us to get everybody in one building?
I'm hoping like I said, I'm hoping within 2. It may be even sooner. I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm sitting literally on Monday. We're going to sit down with my paymaster, which is our treasurer, my wife, and me. And first, we got to deal with some issues with this, but we're also going to start looking at how we go about this. Randy, which is my assistant manager, he has already started looking at. We found 2 potentials. Now we got to start finding out how do we go about getting this done, because how do you get a convention center built that the county has been clamoring for? How do you go about making it as a nonprofit to do this, ran by veterans? So you don't have to worry about a staffing issue, and set this up properly, and taking the empty building that's not being used and work it right, and make it pay back to the community and utilize it, because if it's done right, we will benefit everybody.
Yeah, community is very, very important.
Not just the train show community, but other venues can start coming in. And trust me, my mind has already been turning of how this can work and keep everything in-house. And, like what they do up at the state fairgrounds, but we want to do it better and not outsource anything.
Well, that's great to hear. So we're going to stand by. What the dates for next year is still the first weekend in August.
First weekend in August. I think it's the 2nd and 3rd.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put the flyer up so you can see that. And otherwise, we'll be here unless we get the word somewhere else. So, Mike, thank you so much for doing this. I mean, this is phenomenal, guys. If you want to come, like I said, you got to do it early so you can get in these air-conditioned buildings. There's food here. This was a Mexican group.
He is a veteran from the Navy. He spent all his time on an aircraft carrier, so he knows how to do food. And we will have 1 or 2 other veteran-owned businesses that to help with food as this thing grows. Even if as we get into this other project that we want to get going, I'm all about keeping veterans involved, especially businesses like that, to promote them.
What was her name? Did he have a name?
Dogs to Go.
And he had good hot dogs. I tell you what I heard about was the Italian sausage. That was the big thing that went. And then he had some chili. He had some Mexican
Street corn.
street corn. And I heard he told somebody what was in it, and it was, I mean, I felt kind of sorry for the little girl who came in. She was Mexican, and he started talking to her like, you should know this stuff. And she didn't have a clue,
Some of them do, some of them don't. Trust me. And when you know good Mexican street corn, trust me, it's good.
So it was. Well, again, thank you so much for this. I mean, we'll see you next year. I'll be here for sure in my spot. And that's going to wrap it up for Let's Learn Things. And, hey, we're in Franklin Johnson County Fairgrounds in Indiana, and that's going to do it for us this time.